In the ruthless world of K-pop, there's an unwritten rule that haunts every trainee. Careers have expiration dates. Most idols get 3 good years if they're lucky. Female soloists, even shorter. The industry chews through talent like a machine designed for obsolescence. But then there's Kim Taeyeon, and she broke the machine. Standing here in 2024, 17 years after her debut, Taeyeon just achieved something that should be impossible. Her song In View earned a perfect all-kill on Korean music charts and hit #1 on iTunes in 21 countries. At 35, in an industry obsessed with youth, she's still setting records that rookies can't match. This isn't just a success story, this is a blueprint that rewrote the rules. When you see IU maintaining a decade-plus career, when you watch any Girls' Generation member launch a solo career, when BTS credits her as inspiration for Boy in Love, you're seeing Taeyeon's influence in action. Today we're deconstructing how a shy girl from Jeonju didn't just survive the industry that destroys most artists, she transformed it into something that could sustain authentic artistry across multiple decades. This is how one voice became the bridge every solo artist today is walking across. Taeyeon's strength and building her unbreakable will. March 1989, Jeonju. Taeyeon wasn't born into music royalty, she was just a kid who found that the world made sense when she sang. While other children played, she was studying Whitney Houston's runs and Bowie's stage presence, understanding instinctively that technique plus emotion could create something unstoppable. At 13, she made a decision that would define everything. Every Sunday meant a grueling round trip from Jeonju to Seoul for vocal training at SM Academy under Yong Sun-un, known in the industry simply as The One. Picture this teenager on buses and trains, carrying sheet music and dreams, building the discipline that would later anchor the biggest girl group in history. 2004 changed everything when 15-year-old Taeyeon auditioned for SM Entertainment. Out of thousands of hopefuls, she won the grand prize. But here's what nobody expected. During her official audition, they cut her off halfway through her song and immediately offered her a contract. That just didn't happen, ever. What followed were 3 years designed to break her. The SM trainee system was notorious. 8-hour training days, academic studies, dorm life, and dieting restrictions so severe that breakfast meant 1 apple, lunch might be a small salad, and dinner was nothing. For a vocalist who needed proper nutrition to support her instrument while dancing, this created an impossible situation. The pressure became so overwhelming that Taeyeon did something that could have ended everything. She ran away. She fled back to Jeonju, thinking she was done with the dream that was slowly killing her. But that's when we first saw the steel will that would define her career. She returned to Seoul not as a broken trainee, but as someone who understood the cost of excellence and decided to pay it anyway. The blueprint forms as Taeyeon leads Girls' Generation. August 5th, 2007. 9 young women stepped onto a stage and changed K-pop forever. At 19, Taeyeon was chosen as leader and main vocalist of Girls' Generation, carrying the weight of live performances while managing 8 other personalities through an industry that ate groups alive. Their debut, Into the New World, reached #2, but 2009's G created a cultural earthquake. 9 consecutive weeks at #1, 5 million digital downloads in South Korea alone, the first girl group video to hit 100 million YouTube views. These weren't just numbers, they were proof that the perfect balance between sophisticated and playful could create lasting cultural impact. But here's what made them different. Girls' Generation achieved what seemed mathematically impossible. Half of the top 10 highest grossing girl group tours in history belonged to them. They became the first non-Japanese group to crack the top 3 on Oricon charts since 1980, and the first Korean group ever to achieve million seller status in Japan. Taeyeon anchored it all with what composer Yoo Young-soo famously described as the voice of a woman who has been divorced 7 times, meaning she could convey any complex emotion through song. Industry professionals consistently noted her calm and undeniable vocal prowess, watching her 3-octave range handle everything from soaring anthems to intimate ballads. As leader, she wasn't just their voice, she was their shield. When the group faced challenges, when members needed support, when the industry tried to break them down, Taeyeon absorbed the pressure and kept them moving forward. She learned that leadership meant protecting others while carrying your own weight, a skill that would prove crucial when she stepped into solo waters. Taeyeon's dark years. Success in the entertainment industry comes with a price that most people never see, and Taeyeon paid it in full. During their peak years, she admitted to feeling completely empty after performing for thousands of screaming fans, then returning to isolated hotel rooms feeling nothing. The contrast was devastating, from pure energy to absolute void, night after night. The schedule was so intense that she genuinely forgot how old she was, with years passing in a blur of airports, hotels, and stages. She felt mentally frozen around age 21 despite continuing to age physically, unable to process the psychological cost of constant performance, while everyone told her this should be the happiest time of her life. Then the industry's darker side showed itself directly. In April 2011, during a live performance of Run Devil Run at Lotte World Ice Rink, a Sasaeng fan managed to sneak onto the stage and attempted to kidnap Taeyeon in the middle of their performance. He grabbed her arm and started pulling her off stage before security intervened. Remarkably, no charges were filed, leaving fans bewildered about the lack of consequences for such a dangerous situation. This wouldn't be her only terrifying encounter. In 2017, Sasaeng fans pushed her to the ground at an airport while targeting other artists. And when she called out the behaviour, some fans actually criticised her for mentioning it instead of showing concern for her safety. But the deepest wounds came from personal losses. Between 2017 and 2020, Taeyeon faced a series of tragedies that would have ended most careers. SM label mate and close friend Jonghyun of trainee passed away at the end of 2017, devastating her personally. They had been close since trainee days, bonded as two of the company's strongest vocalists. The losses weren't finished. In 2019, another close friend and SM label mate, Sully, passed away from depression after years of severe online bullying. Sully had been like a little sister to Taeyeon during their trainee days, and their last public interaction was particularly poignant. Taeyeon had visited Sully's show, promising they would make more memories together, not knowing what was coming. Then, in 2020, just as COVID-19 was beginning and her single Happy was set for release, Taeyeon's father passed away on her 31st birthday. This was the man who had driven her to Seoul every Sunday for vocal lessons, who had supported her dreams despite initial hesitation. She cancelled all activities to arrange his funeral and disappeared from public view for months. Throughout this period, Taeyeon was remarkably transparent about her ongoing battle with depression, confirming she was receiving treatment and taking antidepressants. In an industry that demands the appearance of constant happiness, this honesty made her more human and relatable, while highlighting the genuine psychological costs of entertainment industry success. Taeyeon rewrites the rules. By 2015, Taeyeon felt ready to tell her own stories beyond the group context. Solo debuts weren't common then. They were risky experiments that could destroy careers. October 7th, 2015. Changed that forever when her debut EPI topped the Billboard World Albums chart, sold over 160,000 copies in Korea, and moved 2.5 million digital units. But here's the real impact. She opened the floodgates for everyone else. SM Entertainment led industry sales that quarter directly because of Taeyeon's success, and suddenly solo careers became viable for group members. Taeyeon, Tiffany, Hyeon, and Yuri all launched solo careers following her template. When BTS specifically cited her as inspiration for Boy in Love in 2014, it proved her influence crossed gender and generation lines. Her vocal versatility became legendary. demonstrating mastery across funk, rock, tropical house, EDM, R&B, house, metal, dance pop, 90s grunge, disco, and hip-hop. She didn't just sing different genres, she inhabited them completely while maintaining her distinctive emotional core. Industry professionals had already crowned her the best vocalist in all of K-pop in 2015, and her solo work proved it. The OST Queen title came naturally as her songs enhanced television and film storytelling, while standing alone as powerful music. If, recorded just 1 year after Girls' Generation's debut, remains one of Korea's most beloved ballads. I Love You, for the drama Athena, hit number 2 on major charts. She became the first female K-pop solo act to hold concerts in Taiwan and Hong Kong, and eventually the first female soloist to have 5 different albums each sell over 100,000 copies in South Korea. Today's artists study her blueprint for sustainable success. While new groups debut monthly with massive fanfare, Taeyeon represents something rare: artistic longevity that transcends trends. Her February 2022 achievement of a perfect all-kill with In VU proved that authentic artistry, not just youth and novelty, can sustain careers across multiple industry generations. Contemporary artists from Loveless to GIDL cite her as direct influence, but more importantly, she created the practical template that virtually every main vocalist now follows. The successful transition from group anchor to solo artist, the genre versatility, the emotional honesty, this is the Taeyeon blueprint in action. She proved that female idols could age gracefully in public, that vulnerability and strength could coexist, that artistic growth was possible within commercial success. Her continued charitable work, including support for animal welfare and LGBTQ+ advocacy in a conservative environment, shows how she uses her platform for impact beyond entertainment. Kim Taeyeon didn't just survive an industry designed to consume artists, she transformed it into something that could sustain authentic creative expression across decades. She built a bridge from the old system to a new one, and today, every solo artist walking across it owes part of their journey to the girl from Jeonju who refused to let the industry define her expiration date. Her voice carries 2 decades of evolution, proving that real artistry isn't about perfection, but about the courage to remain genuinely yourself while the world tries to change you. And at 35, with her voice stronger than ever and new music still breaking records, one thing is certain: Taeyeon's story is